Well, hi everyone, checking in with you for this week's Midweek Devotional. Well, I want to begin today with a story about a trip I took to Asia. Now, the hotel where I stayed, it was nice. And I remember around the third or fourth day I was there, one morning when I went to take a shower, there was no hot water. It was freezing cold. And the next day, same thing, no hot water. And then the following day, there was no water at all. So the first thing I began praying when I woke up in the morning was to have hot water, or at least running water. Now, how many of you, the first thing when you wake up in the morning is to pray to have water? God, please allow me to have clean running water today. Lord, may I have the blessing of hot water this morning? You know, we can feel that we are owed these things. We deserve these things. We feel entitled. And frankly, we freak out if we're not given these things. How many times do we honestly say, why, God, are there so many good things in my life? What I want to look at today is how do we become a thankful person? And today we're looking at Psalm 124, and I'd like to read that for us. Psalm 124 says, if the Lord had not been on our side, let Israel say, if the Lord had not been on our side when people attacked us, they would have swallowed us alive. When their anger flared against us, the flood would have engulfed us, and the torrent would have swept us over us. The raging waters would have swept us away. Praise be to the Lord, who has not let us be torn by their teeth. We have escaped like a bird from the fowler's snare. The snare has been broken, and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. You know, how many of us could say, if God had not been there, I might not be alive today? So why is it so hard for us to be thankful? Well, I think it's, for one, is we have a problem of entitlement. I think it is in part because as Americans, we live with an entitlement mentality society. Our perspective is that all that we have is given to us by some sort of constitutional right. You know, we can see this entitlement mentality by our shock and upset when things go wrong in our life. You know, something bad happens and we say, why, God? Why did you allow this to happen? Why did you allow this illness in my life, this health problem, this accident? You know, if we experience financial problems, if we're out of work, or if we have our heart broken, or we have some relational problem, we immediately say, why, God, why is this happening to me? You know, it's rare for any of us to have the same sense of shock and bewilderment, why, God, when it comes to the good things in our life. You know, generally speaking, Americans have an overinflated sense of entitlement to good. Why, of course everything should go well for me. But have you ever stopped and said, why did my car start last time I drove it? Why did I get to the store without getting in a bad car accident? Why do I have people in my life who love me? Why did I get to eat today? We think, of course we should have plenty of food and lots of attention and healthy children and a great education and a great house and a hot shower. It's only when the plumbing breaks that we stop and say, what's going on here? Something's wrong. This shouldn't be happening. Do we find ourselves being thankful when life seems mundane, or when life is hard, or when we receive bad news, when you had a bad day? Maybe you lost your job, or maybe you lost a loved one. In those times, we may not think about thanking God, or even feel like thanking God. So why is being thankful such a big deal? You know, being thankful is a big deal because it reveals our view of life. Being thankful is a big deal because it reveals how we view the world and everything we have. It tells us something about what is at the very center of our lives. Do we view everything good we have as coming from God or some other source? You know, one of the ways we can discover what is really important to us is how often we're thankful. How often do you say thank you to God? How much do we really recognize that God is the source of everything good in our life? You know, either in pride we say we are the reason for all the good in our life, or in gratitude we say God is the source of everything good in my life. You know, being thankful reveals our basic spiritual orientation to life. Either God is the source or we are. You know, there was an NYU study at the New York Child Research Center, and the study was looking at trends of families who had an income of between $75,000 and $160,000 per year. And it noticed how over the last 20 years, there's been an escalating psychological problems and the suicide rate had doubled. And here's what they found. For the children that had these three things: complete financial security, excessive freedom to learn and explore, and a provision of a wide range of recreational and educational opportunities. Now, think for a moment here. Isn't this what we'd all want for our kids and our grandkids? Financial security, freedom to learn and explore, a wide range of educational opportunities and recreational opportunities. And yet, the children in this category who had all of these opportunities, it was discovered that it often led to increased apathy, laziness, inability to commit to goals, attitudes of entitlement, indecisiveness, moodiness, irritability without provocation, low self-confidence, and insecurity. In other words, if you pile your kids high with blessings, but they're never taught to sacrificially serve some infinitely more important cause than their own happiness, their lives fall apart. You know, if our goal in life is ourselves, our own happiness, our own well-being, we end up self-destructing. However, if our goal in life is something infinitely greater and more important than ourselves, if our goal in life is the infinite God, if our purpose becomes seeking first the kingdom of God, then we experience the greatest treasure we could ever have. So how do you view everything you have? What is really at the center of your life? What are you truly thankful for today? May that form in you a life marked by gratitude.